Welcome everyone to Doga Yoga. My name is Melody and today we're doing a beautiful fast and free flow. So we'll be moving, creating heat in the body that will enable us to get out all the old energy, get out all the old toxins in our body, and also move deeper into some beautiful hip stretches. So we're going to start sitting down today. Come on down into cross-legged. You might have a block or two handy. Otherwise, actually, I recommend that we have at least 2 blocks or Harry Potter books, J.R. Tolkien, anything handy for the class today. You can sit on one if you like. Just allow yourself to settle into this spot, into this place. We'll place one hand on one knee, one hand on the other, send our shoulder blades down the back and close down our eyes. And just breathe, my friends. Start to connect with yourself, with your body, with your breath, grounding down into this present moment, this beautiful moment that we're alive. Inhale, feel the belly, the ribs, the collarbones expand and rise. Feel yourself naturally grow taller. And exhale, release. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Take a deep inhale, fill up the belly, the ribs, the collarbones, and exhale, just sigh out any last tension through the mouth. Inhale and exhale, side out through the mouth. One more like that. Inhale and exhale. We'll take one big inhale up overhead, fingertips touch. And back to heart center. Thumbs at the sternum, shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. And back to heart center. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. We'll take one more big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch, hold them here. And I'm going to mirror you. We're going to send our right hand forward, our left hand back, open up the chest and the gaze towards the side of the room. Inhale, come back to center, reach the fingertips high, and send the left hand forward, the right hand back, twisting the shoulders, rotating the gaze towards the side of the room. Inhale, and exhale, take your gaze, take your hands to the other side. Inhale, reach the fingertips high. Right hand forward, or left hand forward, right hand back, open up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Take one more big inhale, reach high, and exhale, place your right hand on your left knee, your left hand behind you. Find length in the spine and gently revolve here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, grow tall and revolve. Grow tall and revolve. Grow tall and revolve. Release the hands. Take one big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. We're going to send the left hand forward, the right hand back, coming into that twist on the other side. So find that beautiful length in the spine and then revolve with a straight spine. So we're creating space in each of our vertebrae, growing taller, and that enables us to then revolve the spine towards the side. So we're not crinking, we're not forcing, we're not creating lack of space, we're creating space, which then enables the range of motion. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. When we're ready, come back to center, my beautiful friends. Come on over into tabletop. Take our time. Just move our block to the side for now. Wrists and shoulders, knees and hips in alignment. Really grip the mat. Drop our belly. Open up our chest into cow. And exhale, navel to spine, chin to chest, cow. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cow. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. flow here, moving beautifully with the rise and fall of your breath. Just taking time to check in with what's going on in the body. Noticing the sensations with the rise and fall of your breath. Come back to neutral, tuck our toes under, press into our hands, press into our toes. Squeeze the biceps into one another, send the shoulder blades down the back, and we'll start to send the hips up into the air, into our first downward facing dog. So really be mindful here. Bend the knees generously on the first one to lengthen the spine, send the shoulder blades down the back, squeeze the biceps in towards the ears. And really the gaze is going towards our shins or our toes, and our chest is going towards our thighs. So inhale, see if you can push away from the ground a little bit more, lengthen the body, and exhale, soften. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, one more big, beautiful breath. And release. On our next inhale, bend our knees, look towards our hands, pull back, and take little steps into our forward fold. We're still warming up the body, so be gentle here. Inhale, rise on up, come to the tops of the knees, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Bend the knees generously, really press down into all four corners of the feet, roll on up. Big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch, and back to heart center. Place our thumb on our sternum and just breathe here, my friends. Just breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more big, beautiful inhale. And release the hands down beside the body on our exhale. Inhale, I'll take a big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch, and we'll start our flow. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips, straight or bent knees. Inhale, rise on up, halfway lift to the fingertips or the tops of the knees, nice straight spine. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, step, or jump back to plank or half plank. Lower down the chest, chaturanga, then the hips, untuck the toes. Press into the hands, the hips, the toes, rise up into cobra. And exhale, lower. Make our way into child's pose. Tap the forehead towards the earth, tuck the toes under, and make your way up into your downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. On our next inhale, bend our knees, look towards our hands, pull back, so nice, and take little steps up into our forward fold. Inhale, rise on up, halfway lift, flat back, straight spine, and exhale, fold. Ground the four corners of the feet, bend the knees, roll on up, big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch, and back to heart center. We'll go again straight away to create some heat in the body. Inhale, hands up overhead, fingertips touch. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Bend our knees, plant our hands, step or jump back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Come up into your cobra, press into the tops of the toes, the hips, the hands. And exhale, lower. Make your way into your child's pose. Tap the forehead towards the earth. Open up the lower back. Tuck the toes under. Press into the hands and the toes. And send the hips up and away into your downward facing dog. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So nice. On our next inhale, we're going to place weight into our left foot. Lift our right heel up high and hold here. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring that knee towards our nose, slowly and with control. Roll the wrists and shoulders over one another. Knee can touch our nose if we can get it there. And get that foot gently in between our hands. Now we might lower down this back knee. Take our time here. We're all going to rise on up into our crescent lunge. So send our hands up overhead, or we might even just have them on our knees here for stability. Just find where feels good, guys. There's no right or wrong. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, soften. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale and soften. Now on our next inhale, we're going to lengthen the fingers up. Send this left hand forward, the right hand back. On our exhale, opening up to the side of the room. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, twist open towards the side of the room. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Hold here. Send this back hand down our back thigh. Lift our front hand up. Gaze towards the top fingertips. Revolved, reverse warrior. So beautiful. Find length on your inhale. And relax and release. Find length and release. We're going to take this top hand down, frame our front foot, lift our back hand high into the sky into easy twist. Now we can be up on that back knee or have it down. Glue the hips into the midline wherever we are. Inhale, finding length. And soften. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, one more. And soften. Now we're going to take circles with this top hand. So take it back and forward. Back and forward. Back and forward. And reach high. Take it the other way. Forward and back. Forward and back. Forward, back, reach high. Plant this hand down. Now, a couple of options here. You might just want to come into child's pose. So wriggle this front foot back, come into your tabletop position, then come into child's pose. Or step back into plank or half plank and come through your flow with me. So find length in the spine wherever we are. Lower the chest down, chaturanga. Untuck the toes, press into the tops of the toes, the hips, the hands. Rise on up into cobra. And exhale, lower. Now push our way back into child's pose, nice and lightly. Touch the forehead towards the earth. Tuck the toes under, press into the hands and the toes and send the hips high. Breathe here, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now you might just be in child's pose still. You don't have to be in downward facing dog. So if you're there, just stay there. And if you're up here, that's awesome. There is no right or wrong. So we're going to press weight into our right foot and we might lift our left heel off the ground just a millimeter. We might kick it quite high into the air, and or you could just play, be in that in-between place of learning and growing and just enjoying the moment. Inhale, find length in the body. And exhale, soften. Inhale, length. And exhale. Inhale, length. And exhale. When we're ready, we're going to bring that knee towards our nose. And if we're in child's pose, just come into our tabletop position. And we're going to get this foot, everyone, in between our hands. And however we do that, it doesn't matter. We might pick it up and get it here. We might have this back knee down. I'm going to opt for the option to have this back knee up this time. So do whatever variation feels good for you. We'll all ground down into that big toe, activate our core, rise on up. Our hands might be on our knee or we might rise up in one go and sink. So wherever we are, we're opening up the chest, we're finding length, shoulder blades are down the back, finding length on our inhale, and exhale, softening. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Now on our next inhale, we'll find length, and exhale, we're going to send our right hand forward, left hand back, open up, so nice. Inhale and exhale. Oh, so good. Inhale and exhale. If you're wobbling and falling out, completely fine. Just laugh. We're not so serious here. You know me. Inhale and exhale. Now come into that reverse, twisted reverse warrior. There we go. Back hand down the back thigh. Rise up, front hand high. Gaze towards those top fingertips. Oh, so nice. Sink into the hips. Breathe. And when we're ready, we're going to get this top hand down next to our front foot. Rise our back hand high and coming into that beautiful easy twist. So glue the hips in together rather than sticking them out to the side. You might lower that back knee down if that feels good for you. Finding length, opening up the chest. Gaze can be towards the side of the room or to these top fingers. Breathing. Now when we're ready, we're going to take circles. So go back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Reach high and then go forward. I'm going to lower down my back knee for this one. Forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Reach high. Frame this front foot. Now you might just come into child's pose, coming into through your tabletop, or you can come through and flow with me. So lift this back knee up if you're feeling energetic. Come into plank or half plank and go through your flow. Lower down, chaturanga. Untuck the toes, press into the hips and the hands, cobra. Exhale, lower. Make your way into your child's pose. Tap the forehead for a moment. Feel that connection with the earth before we make our way back into downward facing dog. Now we'll all meet in downward facing dog, so take your time to come up here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bend our knees generously, look towards our hands, pull back, step. In one step, a million steps, you might jump up into your forward fold. So just get your feet towards your hands, bend the knees as generously as they need and fold. Inhale, halfway lift, tops of the fingers or to the tops of the knees. And fold forward once more. Really feel that deepening of the stretch in your calves. You might start to straighten the legs a little bit. So nice. Bend the knees generously here. Tuck the tailbone under. Roll on up. Big arm circle up overhead. Fingertips touch. And back to heart center. Breathe here for a moment. Find your connection to body and breath. Inhale, feel the belly, the ribs, the collarbones. And exhale, release. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. When we're ready, big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. Our big toes come together, our hips go back and our hands go forward. So we're going to flow here with a little dynamically. So inhale, find length. And exhale, we're going to sweep our hands back. The crown of the head goes forward. Inhale, sink the hips back, the hands up into chair. And exhale, reach behind us, kind of like a warrior three, but not. Inhale, sweep our hands up. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, rise on up. One more into chair, hold. And exhale, we're going to fold forward, hands to the ground, legs long. You might have a slight bend in those knees, just find what feels good. Inhale, we'll come on up, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Bend our knees generously, plant our hands. Now you might just step back into tabletop and then come into your child's pose, or you can come through a flow. Plank, chaturanga. Come into your cobra. Find what feels good and exhale, lower. Make your way into downward facing dog. You might come through child's pose, tapping the forehead towards the earth and sending the hips high and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Place weight into that left foot. Lift your right heel high. So it might be just a millimeter. You might just play here or kick it up. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee towards our nose, squeeze here, get that foot in between our hands. Now we're coming into warrior two, so turn that back foot parallel to the outside edge of the back mat, heel to arch alignment, so you might wriggle that front foot over a bit, make sure your core is on before we rise up with grace and sink. So tuck the tailbone under, press into that front big toe, press into the outside edge of that back foot, and find your alignment, find your warrior. Gazes towards our front fingertips. Shoulder blades are down the back. Feel strong. Feel your fingertips are reaching forward and back. And breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. On our next inhale, flip our front palm. Come into our reverse warrior. And breathe for 3, 2, 1. We're going to come in, 1. We're going to come back into our warrior 2 and into our side angle pose. So our top arm reaches forward, our bottom arm is on our knee or reaching towards the ground, tucking our tailbone under, finding length from that bottom foot all the way to the top fingertips. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now we're going to flow in between these two postures. Inhale, exhale, and settle into our reverse warrior. And then inhale, exhale, settle into our Parsvakonasana. Inhale, exhale, settle into our reverse warrior. Inhale, exhale, settle into our side angle pose. One more, inhale, exhale, settle. Inhale, exhale, and settle. Now sweep this top hand down, frame that front foot. Same as before, come into your child's pose, chill out, or flow with me, completely optional. Plank, chaturanga. Come into cobra or upward facing dog. Find what feels good for your body. You might come back into child's pose, touch the forehead towards the earth, and then make your way up into your downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Place weight into that right foot. Activate that leg. Lift that left heel up just a millimeter, or you might kick it quite high. Find what feels good. Just find that edge of your body. Find what works. And when we're ready, bring that knee towards our nose, squeeze. Now, if you're in child's pose, come up into your tabletop and just get this foot in between between our hands. Then we're going to turn our back foot parallel to the back of the mat, heel to arch alignment. We're coming into our warrior 2 on the other side. So activate our legs, activate our core, rise on up and sink. Breathing here, inhale, finding length, and exhale, softening. Inhale, finding length, and exhale, softening. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. One more big, beautiful inhale, and exhale. On our next inhale, flip our front palm, come into our reverse warrior, and breathe. For 3, 2, 1, and then make our way back into our warrior 2, coming into our Parsvakonasana, our side angle pose. We want to tuck our tailbone under. We don't want to lean forward. We want to create a nice straight spine in the body. That top arm or that bottom arm can be on our leg, or we can reach it down towards our toes and reach this top hand towards the front of the room, creating a nice angle or a nice straight line from the tops of the fingers towards that outer edge of that bottom foot. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now, just like we did before, you guessed it, we're going to flow between. So inhale, exhale, settle. Inhale, exhale, settle. Inhale, exhale, settle into your reverse warrior. Inhale, exhale, settle into your side angle pose. Inhale, exhale, settle into your reverse warrior. Last one. Inhale, exhale, settle into your side angle pose. Spiral this top hand down, frame your foot, come into your child's pose or go through your flow. Plank, chaturanga, cobra or upward facing dog. And make your way into downward facing dog however you would like. Breathing here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. On our next inhale, bend our knees, look towards our hands, pull back, my friends, and take steps into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Bend our knees generously, roll on up. Big arm circles up overhead, fingertips touch, and back to heart center. Place our thumb on our sternum, send our shoulder blades down the back, Samasthiti here, and find our connection with body and breath. Notice the heat we've generated in the body. Notice your breath. Notice blood moving, coursing throughout your veins. And feel the energy of lightness. Feel that energy of movement as you get rid of all the old things, all the things that have been sitting still and stagnant. Just let them go and let your body move into a new space, into a new moment. When we're ready, we'll take one big arm circle all together, up overhead, fingertips touch. Big toes together, hips back, hands forward into chair. Now we're going to flow again. Inhale, find length. Exhale, sweep the hands back, the head forward. Inhale, find length. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Reach on up once more, find length. And then exhale, fold forward, straighten the legs, hands down, crown of the head towards the earth. Inhale, find length and fold. Bend our knees generously, plant our hands down. Now come into your tabletop position, into your child's pose, or come into a flow. Plank, chaturanga. Come up into cobra or upward facing dog. And make your way in your own time into your downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Place weight into your left foot. Lift your right heel high. Hold. Now you can kick that heel towards your glute. Really open up the hips here. Gaze can go towards the underside of that armpit if that feels good. Just breathe and release here. Notice the sensations. Straighten that leg, bring that knee towards our nose and get that foot in between our hands. So nice. Coming back into warrior 2 feet. So back foot parallel to the outside edge of that back mat. Rise on up and sink. Inhale, find length and sink. Find length and sink. We're going to straighten this front leg, tuck our tailbone under, reach forward, come into our Trikonasana. So our hand can come to the shin, it can come to the ground, can come to a, if I can grab it, block. There we go. Reaching high here, finding length on our inhale. And exhale, revolving towards the side of the room. Shoulder blades are down the back, core is on. Really activate the feet, activate the kneecaps, and you'll find the upper carriage lifting a lot higher and being able to revolve. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Reach high once more and release. Now we're going to spiral this top hand down, bend this front knee, frame this front foot. If you've got a block, just move it to the side and sink this back knee down. So you might pat it, take some time, get comfy guys. Just find what feels good here. We're just going to open up the chest here in a really nice lunge, getting into the hip flexors. We've cultivated some heat in the body today, so now we're allowing ourselves to stretch and let go, soften, release, get into some deeper healing. So send the shoulder blades down the back. Really breathe, really just savor the sensation. You might rock here gently side to side. Just let go. Now we're going to walk this right foot over behind our left wrist. So just scoot it on over. I'll move the block so you can see me. Lower this this front knee down. So this leg is nearly parallel with the front of the mat. If you want it a bit less, bring this heel towards the groin more. Wriggle our back leg back as far as we can. Untuck those toes, come up onto the fingertips and just release into our pigeon. So find length on your inhale. And exhale, soften. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, find length. And you might like to fold forward a little bit more here. So walk the hands forward, coming down onto the forearms. You might send the fingertips all the way forward, resting the forehead on the mat. Just find what feels true to you. Square off the hips, bring the forward hip back, the back hip forward. You can feel them, I suppose, deepening the stretch as you find that resistance, and breathe.
so nice, so nourishing. Just let go of any tension, anything we're holding on to here, any clenching. Remember to breathe. Remember to tap into the healing power of our breath. That's softening with each exhale, allowing us to release any tension, any holding on, any pain in the body. When you're ready, we're gently going to lift the forehead up, walk the hands in, tuck those back toes under. We're going to push ourselves back into our downward facing dog. Take a little wriggle here, take a little shake. Now you can come into your child's pose, or you can just go through a very quick flow with me. Plank, chaturanga, cobra or upward facing dog. And we'll just make our way back into our downward facing dog in our own time, in our own way. Find what feels good. Now we're going to place a weight into that right foot. Lift this left heel high, my friends. Kick it towards the right buttock and gaze can go underneath that left armpit. Really open up the hip here. Find what feels good. Breathe. Straighten that leg in your own time. Square the hips off. Bring that knee to nose. Hover. And then get it through in between your hands. And if you've just been in your child's pose, just come into your tabletop and get this foot through however you can. Now we're going to square that back foot off with the back of the mat, coming into our warrior 2 feet. Rise on up and sink. Tuck that tailbone under. Find that integrity in the spine and the legs, making sure our front big knee is tracking outwards towards our pinky toe. Shoulder blades are down the back. Lengthen that front leg, activate that front kneecap. So we're protecting our joints here before we lean forward and coming into our Trikonasana. So our hand can be on the shin, it can be on the ground, it can be on a block. Find what feels good. Lengthen on your inhale. Really reach up with that top hand and revolve from the navel center. So find length and revolve. Find length and revolve. And even if you come out of the pose a little bit, come a little higher and then revolve a little deeper, you'll find a deeper stretch in the hip, which is where we're really actively targeting today. It's not how deep we go, it's actually the revolution and the stretch in that beautiful right hip. So we're going to bend this front knee, spiral this top hand down, frame our front foot, lower this back knee down, and come into our lunge, my friends. You can keep those back toes tucked, untuck them, personal preference, find what feels good. And just sink. So you are tucking this tailbone under so you can feel a deeper stretch in that hip flexor, sending the shoulder blades down the back, finding length in the spine. And just soften. Notice the heat that we've generated in the body today and how it allows you to move differently. Notice what is tight and what isn't anymore. Notice if you feel energized or if you feel fatigued. That is especially important, especially in our vinyasa classes. That means you might be overexerting yourself and you might need like a yin or a restorative guided stretching type class. So just be aware of the energy you've created in your body today and what it means to you. Now when we're ready, we're going to walk our left foot across towards our right wrist. Lie that knee down, coming into our pigeon. So we can wriggle this back foot back so our hips are touching the ground. If they don't, we can put a block underneath this hip or a cushion to find what feels good. Come up onto our fingertips. Oh, this is so juicy for me, so nice. And just breathe. I've actually had knee surgery on this knee before from a motorbike accident, so it's always a little bit stiffer. And pigeon is just so good. It allows me to get out any of that unconscious tension that I hold on to in this knee from that old injury, and allows me to move so much better. So if you've got knee injuries, I feel you. Talk to me about it. Definitely can give you some variations. So find length in the spine. And if you'd like to come down onto the forearms, you can. If you'd like to send the fingertips all the way out, you can. I'm going to stick to forearms right now because it just feels really nice with my body and this hip and this knee. So find that connection to your breath. Often when we come into these challenging or dynamic stretches, we start to unconsciously clench and hold. So just find where our breath is at and release. Allow that healing breath, that oxygen to flow through our veins. When we breathe deeply and slowly, it signals to our whole nervous system that it's okay to relax. It's human nature. It's how we're hardwired. So just send that healing or send that it's okay signals to your body. Really great, even if you're stressed, if you're in a stressful meeting or a situation, breathing deeply and calmly has such a beautiful effect on your mind as well as your body. We're gently going to come on up onto the hands, tuck those back toes under, activate that back leg and push ourselves back up into our downward facing dog. So nice. Walk out the dog here. Really take our time. Savor the sensations. We're going to bend our knees, look towards our hands, pull back and take little steps in to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And fold. Now we're actually going to make sure we have our 2 blocks handy. I'm just going to get my second block here. So if you don't have yours handy, just take some time, get them in front of you, and just stack them in front of your big toes, long way, so facing up. So we're going to flow here. Inhale, find length. Hands are on the blocks, the fingertips on the block. Really help you find that beautiful straight spine here. So I want you to activate the glutes, activate the kneecaps, and find that straight spine, that flat back that we would in our halfway lift, our Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, practice with the blocks, finding that length. Shoulder blades are down the back, neck is long, so we're tucking our chin towards our chest just ever so slightly. And fold. Oh, that was such a deeper fold. Inhale, find that length, hollow out the lower belly, strength and length from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And fold, my friends. Just release any tension here, any holding on. Relax the shoulders, the neck, the jaw. Shake the head side to side. And breathe. Now we're going to come on up. Not quite to our halfway lift, but we're just going to use our blocks as balancing points here. We also have the option to reach our hands towards the ground if you're at that level. We're going to come into our halfway, or our half splits, I should say. So you might take your feet a little bit further back from your blocks now, rather than them being exactly near your toes. Place weight into your left foot. We're going to lift our right heel back behind us. So lift it up, toes are flexed towards our face. Just walk your blocks out to where it's comfortable, where you can find a nice straight spine. So inhale, find a length and soften. You might be able to feel that you can release the blocks and take the hands down. Just find where feels good for you in your half splits and that heel higher, toes flexed towards the face, and breathe. And if you're just practicing having these toes off the ground just a millimeter behind you, you can feel the activity in that left glute, then just be here. Or you're with me. There is no right and wrong. You're all amazing. You are here. You've taken time to step on your mat. You know how awesome you think I am. I think you are. Inhale and exhale. Now, if you want to add on something a little bit extra, we'll see how we can do this. Send the hands behind you. Reach back into your warrior 3. Breathe. Activate the glutes so strong. And then release the hands back down. So good. Release that foot back down onto the ground. Bend the knees generously. Shake the head. Yes or no. Shake the hips side to side. And we'll just take a little vinyasa. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Plant the hands. Go through our flow. Plank. Chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog. Make our way back into our downward facing dog in our own time. You might come through child's pose. You might float the hips up. Doesn't matter. Just take your time. And when we're ready, bend the knees, look towards the hands. We're just going to walk back on up into our forward fold. Come up into your halfway lift, whether that's onto the tops of the knees or length, and then fold. Now grab your blocks once more and find that length in the spine. Find that stability here. Use them to bring the ground closer to you. You might even take them wider to help yourself with greater balance. We're going to push weight into that right foot, activate that kneecap, activate that glute, and lift the left heel behind you. Now you might be able to stay here. The hips are squared off, so they're facing the ground. We're not peeling it open into our half moon. We're squaring the hips off to the ground, toes flexed towards the face. You might reach the ground, send that heel a little bit higher, find what feels good for you. Breathing, squeezing that glute into the midline, so we're not sticking it out to the side too much, causing, I suppose, imbalance in the hips and body. So just find what feels good. And if you'd like to have a bit of a challenge, we'll see how I go with this one. Send the hands back, reach them back towards the heels, coming into your warrior three. Breathe. And then sink the hands down. Lower that back foot down and come into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, the tops of the fingers, blocks or tops of the knees, and exhale, fold. Bend the knees generously, roll on up. Big arm circle, up overhead, fingertips touch. And back to heart center. Just find your connection to body. Find your connection to breath, my friends, and breathe. And when we're ready, we're going to release the hands beside the body. We're going to get the heel of the hands into the glute, into the lower back. So just find this cushy bit, the top of the glute, the bottom of the lower back. You know where it is, that sensitive spot. Turn the fingertips up and just massage side to side here. Just getting out any tension, any niggles that we had today. Now you might be more still if your lower back isn't super sensitive. Send the hips forward and send the shoulders back. You can bend your knees slightly here as well. So just find where feels good for you and breathe. Come on up, all together. Big arm circle, up overhead, fingertips touch. And exhale, one last fold forward. Inhale, come on up, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Bend our knees generously, plant our hands. We're going to come back into our tabletop position all together. Take our knees wide, hips towards heels, forehead towards the earth. And just relax and release, my friends. Breathe here. When we're ready, we're going to rise on up. We're going to send our legs long and just melt the hips down, the chest down onto the earth below. I'm going to send both our arms out wide, so kind of in a T shape. And we're going to walk our left fingertips in towards our left shoulder. Our right fingertips are long. Our gaze goes towards the left as well. And we're just going to revolve our whole body, pick it up and lean it onto the right side. So you'll feel a nice opening in that right shoulder. Keep the shoulder blades down the back and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale once more and just melt into the space. We might kick these left toes towards the right and send them over. You might even be able to grab them with those fingertips, kicking them up, squeezing the knee in toward the midline so it's not kicking out to the sky, it's squeezing towards the earth and the other knee. Finding a beautiful quadricep and hip flexor stretch here as well. So nice. When ready, release. Come back to center. Gaze goes towards the right. Right fingertips in. We're revolving the whole body onto the left side. And same on the other side. Really notice the sensation in the shoulder blades. Just really let go. I'm going to kick the toes over. We might reach them towards the hands, squeezing that knee in towards the midline. Just seeing what feels good. Beautiful quadricep and hip flexor stretch. When you're ready, come back to center. And just relax on the mat. Walk both our hands underneath our shoulders, and then we're going to walk them forward a little bit, getting our elbows underneath our shoulders. So coming into our Sphinx pose. So our hands are facing forward, we're gripping the mat. Imagine we're ripping an A4 piece of paper in front of us, so in between our hands. So we're gripping the mat with our fingertips, we're pushing them or pulling them out towards the side. And when you do that, you'll feel your hips naturally tuck into the earth a bit more, the tops of the toes push into the earth, and the shoulders go down the back. So just find this beautiful shoulder and also hip opening. You'll feel it in a lot of different places depending on where you are tight. So inhale, find length and soften. Find length and soften. Find length and soften. You might send your gaze over your right shoulder. Really releasing here. So good, so nourishing. Come back to center, find length. Look over your left shoulder, gaze towards those left toes, keeping length in the spine, making sure we're not crinking or creating a lack of space in the body. Practice ahimsa, which is do no harm to ourselves or others. Breathe. And when we're ready, come back to center and melt onto the earth. Feel your whole body. Just let go of any last tension you've been holding on. You've done such good work today. You've been working really dynamically, getting in, creating a lot of heat, getting into a lot of different spaces in the body. So just make this time your luxurious time to really release. Now we're going to roll over onto our backs. Nothing fancy. Come on over. And we're going to bring our feet in towards our hips and just give ourselves a super big hug here. Now we might rock side to side. You might just be still, savoring the sensation. You might take figure eights, just really massaging out the lower back, just noticing any sensations that feel good for you. I'm going to send this left leg long, lengthen our right leg and just pull it towards our face a little bit. So we're really getting into our hamstrings. We created a lot of heat here. So just seeing if we can get a little bit more length into them. Find length and just soften. We might be super bent here and just bringing it in a little bit. Just observe. When we're ready, bring this knee back into our chest. Give ourselves a hug. Send the right leg long, bring the left knee in, give ourselves another little hug. And send that leg high and bring it towards our face. So you might even feel a stretch in your calf, in your hamstring, in the top of your foot even. So just notice where this is showing up for you and just play with it. Don't be like, oh, I should be feeling it one way, or I think I should be feeling it another way. Just observe. So I'm feeling it a little bit in my calf today because I'm a little bit tighter in my left calf. So I'm going to roll my ankle to really exacerbate that stretch. Not exacerbate, but I suppose capitalize on this movement. Feels really yummy, as well as getting into my hamstrings. I'd even reach. When ready, we'll bring that knee in towards our chest, give ourselves a super big hug, say thank you to our body, and just send that leg long. So we're coming into the last phase of our class today. You might just be here in Savasana. You might take a couple of other movements that might feel nice to you. You might want to windscreen wipe the knees to get into the lower back. You might just be super happy to be still. I'm going to take the soles of the feet together, the knees out wide into reclined butterfly because it is a personal favorite of mine. But it might not do for your body what it does for me. So just come into a place of deep ease and relaxation, whatever that looks like for your body. Palms facing up. We'll find or ground our connection to our body and to our breath. Inhale, filling the belly, the ribs, the collarbones. And exhale, releasing. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Slowing down with each breath, just really observing any sensations coming up,
physically and mentally. Just observing and enjoying where we are right now. Being in this present moment, being alive. The beauty of the vinyasa, the flow, is that you are so caught up in the joy of the moment, the joy of the heat and excitement of the movement. It's really a dance of life, showing or allowing us to shine our joy and find our joy in the world around us. When we're ready, we'll send our legs long. Send our hands up overhead. Really savor this sensation. You might wriggle here. You might just wriggle the fingers and toes, roll the wrists and ankles. Just bring a little bit of gentle movement back into the body. Come on over onto a side that suits you, using your arm as a pillow. Come on up into seated, my friends. We'll finish where we started today in a beautiful cross-legged pose. You might grab a block, have it underneath your hips. Do whatever you need to find a place of comfort and ease and contemplation. Observe how you feel now and observe how you felt at the start of class. Notice the differences. Are you busier in the mind, or are you calmer? Are you more energetic or tired? Are you foggy or clear? Are you happy or frustrated or sad? Notice the differences physically, emotionally, and mentally, with the rise and fall of your breath. And say thanks to yourself for stepping on your mat today. Well done. You have done such an amazing class. You have done so well. And it's not about doing the poses perfectly. You know that I am not about we fit in a box or do a certain shape. It's about the intention of you stepping on and wanting to warm and nourish and move your body. So well done. And we'll take one big, beautiful arm circle all together, up overhead, fingertips touch, back to heart center. Sending you lots of love and gratitude, my beautiful yogis. Namaste.